Brought to you by Aaron Saxon Associates.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Right now at 7, we continue to honor individuals during Black History Month. We're going to see how the Parsons Public Library gave a history lesson about Brown versus Board of Education. Plus, firefighters in Nevada respond to a fire that was quickly getting out of control. And we've got ourselves a beautiful start to the day, but breezy. We've got some big changes on the horizon. We'll have a look at that forecast, get you out the door, coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Chris Warner, just after 7 a.m. on this Tuesday morning here in the 4 states. A beautiful day. It's breezy. It's going to be very warm, and then the temperatures are going to drop 50 degrees. Truly, if you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes, in this case a few hours, and it'll change for you. We're going to have more on your forecast here in just a moment, but of course February is Black History Month, and in honor of Black History Month, Parsons Public Library hosted a presentation yesterday evening about the 12 black women involved in the historic Brown versus Board of Education case, many of whom were from Kansas. KOAM's Elise Noe has more.
These are 12 African-American women who signed their names, and they literally changed history.
Historian Donna Ray Pearson presents the women of Brown, sharing the stories of the 12 black women who were plaintiffs in the 1954 Brown v. Board of Education case at the Parsons Public Library.
This year's the 70th anniversary of the decision. So there's a lot of conversation going on about the case right now. But historically, there's never been much conversation about the women themselves.
Pearson says that the contributions of these women in the civil rights movement is often overlooked, but their story is an essential part of the impact the case has had on American society.
Because they were women and because they were African American, they were not asked the same kind of questions that the men were asked. They were not the civil rights lawyers standing in front of the judges. These were just 12 ordinary women who did something extraordinary.
The Women of Brown is part of Humanities Kansas's Speakers Bureau, hoping to strengthen civic engagement in the state.
Hope people will go, after they see a presentation, they'll be like, you know, such and such does that in my community, and maybe they too should be documented and their story recorded.
And the story of these 12 black women remains pertinent in the present day.
I think we need to know about them. I think we need to know that everyday heroes come from our communities.
In Parsons, Kansas, Elise Noe, KOAM News.
This was Pearson's first time giving the presentation and discussion of the Women of Brown. She says she will continue to highlight these women's stories and ensure they will not be forgotten. And of course, it's very important to share these stories, not just during February, but all year round. Let's take a look outside, shall we? This is our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. I moved it a little further to the right to try and get a little more of that sunshine. However, those clouds continue to roll in, and it's not showing up as nicely as it was a moment ago, but it's not bad, and it feels almost like an early May day out there. MoDOT camera, 32nd range line. You can see those clouds and a little bit of clear sky off to the south and west. And that's how our day is going to be again today. KDOT camera on 69 at Kansas Crossing, looking back to roughly the north out there on 69. Also looking pretty darn good this morning, but it is going to be windy. We have red flag warnings and wind advisories across the entire area. So again, cannot emphasize enough, no outdoor burning, no grilling, things like that. Anything that involves flame or spark outside, don't do it. And as the sign here south of Pittsburgh on 69 has been saying, do not discard cigarettes. Seems something so small, something so simple. But in these dry conditions and with these winds, it could very easily spark a fire that could quickly grow out of control. So just please be safe, be responsible, be smart today. 67 in Joplin right now, 56 in Pittsburgh. As we get the day underway, we are looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies, winds gusting 40, 45, maybe even upwards of 50 miles an hour today out of the southwest. Highs upper 70, low 80s out there. And as we head into the evening, that cold front starts to arrive. Temperatures will begin to drop back across the area, and we'll see a few showers. We could even see a few light snow showers. Thankfully, no severe weather, no accumulating snow expected. And we'll have a complete look at your forecast here in just a few more minutes. Now to today's top stories. Nevada firefighters responded to a fire Monday afternoon. Fire was located north of the Vernon County Square in the 200 block of East Locust. Firefighters were able to contain the fast-moving blaze. A garage with a car was destroyed. Then an adjoining residence suffered extensive damage. Another residence had siding melt due to intense heat. Nevada Fire Chief Troy Denny says no one was injured and they are still investigating the cause of the fire. And the Red Cross has responded to assist the residents displaced by the fire. Missouri State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick yesterday released a follow-up report for the city of Purcell. Finds the city is still working to implement many of the recommendations made by a 2022 audit that gave the municipality a rating of poor. The original report was initiated by a citizen petition and led to the former Mayor Pro Tem being charged with stealing after uncovering more than $3,200 in missing or misappropriated money. Follow-up report looks at 19 of the recommendations made in the original audit and finds the city has fully implemented only 4 of them. Kansas Capitol yesterday hosted the JAG-K Senior Days event. JAG-K stands for Jobs for America's Graduates Kansas. More than 130 Kansas students attended the event to learn more about the governmental process. They also served as a way for students to meet with legislators from their respective areas. The event also gave students the opportunity to tour the campuses of Washburn University and Washburn Tech. And that's a look at some of our top stories. Coming up next, the SEK Humane Society joining us to share the importance of microchipping your pet.
70.
Ritz, a taste of welcome.
Welcome back. Statistics show that 1 out of every 3 pets will end up missing. One way to help find a missing pet is by using a microchip. Now we're speaking a little softer because Bitsy here, it's her first time doing all this. She's a little nervous, a little shy. We don't want her to be scared. And Kelsey Keeney, this is not her first time. She's not too shy, not too nervous. And she's here to talk to us about a microchip clinic that's coming up actually on my birthday on March 10th. Kelsey, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Welcome to Bitsy. So, first off, tell us a little bit, what exactly is microchipping for those who don't know?
So with the microchips we have for the clinic, it's not going to be like a tracking chip. Instead, it'll just be, it's like the size of a grain of rice, and it's just inserted in between their shoulder blades in the back. But what it is if your pet ever goes missing and they do have that microchip, if someone were to find them and take them to a nearby shelter or animal control, they're actually able to scan it and the numbers pop up with your information, and then if you adopt from us, with our information as well.
Okay, excellent, because I know sometimes, especially as we get into like the 4th of July, for example, it scares pets sometimes and they'll take off running and it's hard to find them again, but if they do turn up, this is an easy way to make sure that it's your favorite little pup, or even because you can do this with cats as well.
Absolutely.
So why is it so important though to microchip your pets?
Yeah, so I'm not sure on the statistics, but I'm pretty sure it's about 1 in every 3 pets goes missing. So it's very important to have that chip because you don't want your pet to run off during fireworks, like you said, and not being able to find them or know that they're actually in a shelter because someone found them and picked them up. So it's just really important if you do want to get your pet back.
All right, and as you mentioned, it's important to be able to track down your pet because pets are part of the family. You don't want to lose a part. It'd be like if one of your children ran off during fireworks, you'd want to find them as much as you'd want to find your pet. And we, of course, again, you've got Bitsy here with us. Tell us a little bit about Bitsy.
Yes, so Bitsy is a 10-month-old terrier mix. Not quite sure what she is mixed with per se, but Yeah, she's a really great girl. She would just prefer a home where there's no cats. She can get a bit too excited with them, but she's met our other shelter dogs and she's done great with them.
All right, and of course, if folks want to adopt Bitsy or perhaps one of the other fantastic animals you have, where do they need to go? What do they need to know?
Yeah, so you can always just show up in person at the shelter, or you can visit our website, thesekhumanesociety.com, and under the Adoptable Animals tab, all of them are going to be listed there. You just click on the one you would like to apply for, and it'll take you straight to the application.
All right, Kelsey, thank you so much. And of course, the microchipping clinic coming up on March the 10th as well. Thank you so much for coming in, Bitsy. You've done a fantastic job here. And we will be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Hall this morning at 10, right here on Fox 14.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:14, almost 7:15 on this Tuesday morning. Clouds increasing a bit in Joplin, as you can see on our camera from the Cornell complex, and it's been breezy through the morning. It is going to get windier yet across the area, so make sure no outdoor burning, none of that business. We're going to cover that here in just a moment. MoDOT camera 32nd and range line showing those clouds. You can see a little clearing off to the southwest, but not by much. And one thing I'm super excited about, the KDOT cameras back up and running. This one, of course, on 69 south of Pittsburgh. This says it all. Do not discard cigarettes. I mean, it also says high fire danger. But it's something as simple as that can take this dry grass and turn it into a significant grass fire in a matter of minutes with how dry things are and with how windy it's going to be today. And with those winds, red flag warnings. Parts of Kansas, Missouri until 9, everyone else until 8 this evening. So again, absolutely no outdoor burning, no outdoor anything that involves spark or flame. It is too dangerous for that. And this is the other half of the red flag warning, the wind advisories. Again, Kansas, Missouri, parts of Kansas and Missouri until 9, everyone else until 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. We could see wind gusts upwards of 50 miles an hour. Even after the front passes through, it's still going to be breezy out there. For most of today, southwest winds blowing in upwards of 40, 45 miles an hour. Here we are at 5. Here's that front. So as the front rolls through, some of you may get a very brief lull in the winds. So suddenly quiet down. That's how you'll know that front's coming through. But on the backside, those winds out of the north, and they're still going to be gusting upwards of 30, 40 miles an hour overnight and into early tomorrow morning. That's going to result in some pretty chilly wind chills as well. Upper teens, 20s, and into the 30s. But thankfully, by early afternoon tomorrow, the wind will finally release its grasp. So breezy, partly to mostly cloudy today, very warm, and thunderstorm chances, severe weather, all of that pretty much gone. Showers are possible along and ahead of the front this evening, but as you can see, they are going to be isolated to widely scattered at best, and there may be a rumble of thunder or two with some of the earlier showers that form. Winds shift out of the north back behind this thing, temperatures drop, and as they do, a few isolated snow showers or even a rain-snow mix will be possible out there. No accumulations expected out of any of that, but that is a possibility. And then on top of that, our temperatures drop 50 degrees as well. Our camera 7th and range line looking back to the east, looking good but cloudy. 67 south-southwest breeze at 17. 67, by the way, and we should be in the 30s right now. A little cooler in Iola still, upper 40s. Everyone else, 50s and 60s across the area. And earlier this morning, we even had some low 70s out there. We get our day underway. We're going to go 72 by 11. Again, partly to mostly cloudy. Very windy out there. That'll continue into the afternoon with highs upper 70s. Most of us reaching the low 80s today. That's what I mean. It feels like May. It is hard to believe what we're going to expect through the evening. Rain showers, mostly cloudy, breezy. Now, the front, of course, will come through the area, so different timing on this. Some of you may start to drop into the 40s a little earlier than the rest of us, so this is an approximate timing across the area. All of us dropping 50 degrees into the upper 20s and low 30s tonight. Much colder tomorrow, in fact, below average, low 40s. Average on Thursday, maybe a stray shower or two in the evening. Back near 80 by Sunday. Another system with showers and thunderstorms does bring our temperatures down a bit, but not as significantly so as we hang out in the upper 50s and low 60s next week. Well, coming up, this year is a leap year. We're going to learn why it's important to observe the leap year?
Quality, compassionate.
Quality, compassionate, affordable care.
Well, it usually happens every 4 years, but do you know why? Well, Fox News' Ted Lindner unravels the importance of leap years and what life on Earth would be like if we didn't have them.
It's still the shortest month, but this year, February is an extra day longer, all thanks to 2024 being a leap year. And while it may not seem like a big deal, there's a whole lot of science and math behind why we alter our calendars.
The reason we have leap years is because the length of the year and the length of the day are not really related to each other.
A year is measured by the amount of time it takes the Earth to make one full trip around the sun. According to NASA, that takes about 365 days, 6 hours, and 9 minutes.
In order to keep the calendar synced up with things like the seasons, particularly when the beginning of spring is and the beginning of fall, the equinoxes, we have to make a correction to the calendar.
And if we didn't have leap years, life as we know it would look a lot different.
What would happen is eventually the calendar would get out of sync with the seasons. So we would like to have the start of spring be in March, and if we didn't have the leap years, eventually the spring would start to drift and we'd start having the first day of spring be in January or October. The basic idea is that usually every 4 years you add an extra day to the calendar.
But in the distant future,
the length of the day is actually growing longer due to tidal effects from the moon. So eventually we won't need leap years anymore when the number of days and years is exactly 365. That's going to happen in about something like 2 to 3 million years from now.
The next leap year won't be until 2028. Ted Lindner, Fox News.
Absolutely fascinating. It is also interesting to note, of course, humans, we created the concept of time and days of the week and hours and months and everything. So the Earth just does its thing, and we came up with time in order to make sure we can use our time wisely. Well, coming up, the Salvation Army in Ottawa County has a new home. Our very own Amber Jenkins is going to share their journey. And as we've mentioned, breezy, very warm today, and then a 50-degree drop in temperatures. The latest on that forecast coming up.
Hi, it's Christy with this. Don't miss out on the savings. Visit us today and let us help you create a beautiful home.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It is now 7:26. I'm Chris Warner, and on this Tuesday morning, we are beginning with an interesting story out of Kansas. Staff on duty at the Independence Fire EMS building went into action when a pickup truck crashed into the back of the station. Firefighters heard what sounded like an explosion and then saw a dumpster fly into the air before striking a canopy roof and falling to the ground. Emergency workers managed to free a person who was trapped in the truck. That person was taken by helicopter to the hospital. Police are investigating the cause of the crash. And the Missouri Community Service Commission is asking for nominations for the 22nd Annual Show Me Service Awards. The awards highlight volunteer work done by Missourians. They are broken up by region and age, as well as community, business, and national service awards. You've got until March 11th to fill out the form to nominate somebody, and you can find it on our website over at KOAMnewsnow.com. And how long does it take to solve a Rubik's Cube? Well, if you're 11-year-old Tara Nelson from Jennings, Missouri, it takes less than 2 minutes. This 5th grader is known at his elementary school as the Rubik's Cube Kid, and that's because he can get all 6 sides of the cube to display a single color in as fast as 43 seconds. The classic 3D puzzle has stumped countless adults for decades, but not Taryn.
Oh, what it do for me? It keeps me distracted. You don't have to be smart to solve a Rubik's Cube. All you need to know is the algorithms.
Well, in case you're wondering, the world record for the quickest time solving a Rubik's Cube is 3.13 seconds. Well, Fort Scott High School yesterday hosted its Academic Technology and Fine Arts Showcase. Community members were invited out to the event to check out what the students have been working on. The projects included academic displays, demos, art exhibits, digital creation, shop class tours, and a whole lot more.
I hope the community sees how much our students are capable of, because we have some amazing students here. As we look forward to creating a technical school in this area, I hope that they can see that this technical school will really serve our students well.
There were also musical performances from the school's jazz band, chamber orchestra, and choir. Well, Pitt State yesterday handed out a first-of-its-kind degree from a university in Kansas. More than 1,000 students received an Associates of Arts degree in General Studies. Students with the degree will receive an honor cord for commencement when they finish their bachelor's degree. Later this spring, the university will award the degree to former students who stopped short of a bachelor's but met the associate's requirements. And Kansas Governor Laura Kelly signs a proclamation designating March 4th through the 8th as Severe Weather Preparedness Week in Kansas. Being prepared includes being aware of weather conditions and having a family emergency kit and an emergency plan. As part of the week's activities, Kansans are urged to take part in the statewide tornado safety drill, and that's Wednesday, March the 6th at 11 a.m. You can find out more about this on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. And thankfully, no severe weather in our forecast across the area, but some big changes nonetheless. Quick look outside. MoDOT camera 32nd and range line looking good. It's getting cloudy. You can see some clouds. Well, we can't see the clouds from the KDOT camera, but it's darker out there on this KDOT camera on 69 right by Kansas Crossing. 67 in Joplin. It's cooled back a bit in Pittsburgh as well, down to 56 this morning with some of those clouds out there. We're going to be partly to mostly cloudy today. I want to remind you, we have red flag warnings and wind advisories across the entire area. So absolutely no outdoor burning, no grilling, nothing that involves spark or flame outside today. And do not discard cigarettes out your window on your car, because those could very easily spark a grass fire, and with the dry conditions and the winds, could get out of hand very quickly. We're looking at southwesterly winds today, gusting upwards of 40 to 50 miles an hour in some cases. They will shift out of the north later tonight behind a cold front. Highs today, upper 70s, low 80s. And we're talking a lot more low 80s out there. And then that front will start to make its way into our area later this evening. Temperatures falling 50 degrees tonight as our overnight lows make it back into the upper 20s and low 30s, if you can believe that, after an 80-degree day. We'll have more on your complete forecast here in just a few more minutes. And the Salvation Army of Ottawa County Service Center is moving into a new space that fits all of its services. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
The Salvation Army of Ottawa County moved from Steve Owens Boulevard to 1915 North Main Street in Miami. At first glance, it may look just like a thrift store, but it is much more.
As we're sitting here, people are ready to come in and come shop them, and then we have to let them know that we're actually not a Salvation Army thrift store. We're actually more like a resource hub with our food pantry and our clothing and our social services.
After filling out an application, clothing is free to those in need. Access to the food pantry is based on income, and social services are needs-based.
It is a few hundred square feet larger. It houses all three of our services. So we have social services, we have a clothing shopping experience that's free for people, and we also have a food pantry.
With the new space, they're able to fit 3 services in one building, which makes it a lot more accessible for the community, especially for those who struggle with transportation.
A lot of people do not have transportation, so they are able to come here and to access all of the services at one place.
The help of the volunteers made the moving and reorganizing smooth. However, the center is still looking for more volunteers to stay open more than 2 days a week.
And people often wonder, I say, I can't retire because I won't have anything to do. There are so many places that you can volunteer and help. It is a blessing to be able to volunteer.
Be able to serve here, the stories of what you would hear that come out of here there's a lot of miracles that happen here.
Reporting in Miami, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Salvation Army of Ottawa County Service Center is currently open on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 until noon. And let's look at some of our top stories this morning. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, Charlene Patton is joining us with an amazing healthy chocolate pie. We'll be right back.
Durfelt Funeral Homes. It's more than a service, it's our ministry.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Once again, our good friend Charlene Patton joining us from the Kansas Soybean Commission all the way up from Topeka. So wonderful to have you here. We've had some great desserts for this month. And as you mentioned last week, lots of reasons to celebrate this month. And we're just going to continue on.
Yes, we are. Delectable desserts, and I love this one. This one is a caramel layered chocolate pie. So if you like caramel, if you like chocolate, we've got a wonderful dessert for you here. Okay, so what I did here, this is one package, 8-ounce package of soy cream cheese.
Okay.
I've softened it. You're going to add in 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, confectioner's sugar there. Going to give that a little sweetness. And then a little bit of vanilla there. That's a teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, so that's in my mixing bowl. In your mixing bowl, you have 2 cups of, you can either use whipped cream or whipped topping.
Okay.
Whipped topping has our soy in it. And then this is 4 ounces of German sweet chocolate.
Okay.
And it was a bar, and then I melted it and added just a little bit of water to it. That kind of thins it out, and you're going to mix that together.
Okay.
So we have 3 different layers going here. And while we are mixing, I'll tell about this one here. This is just a prepared crust. You can use whichever one you want to purchase in the store, or you can make it yourself. And then I took 30 caramels. This would be a great activity for kids to help unwrap all those caramels. Put them in a little saucepan, and we added a little bit of vanilla soy milk to that until it melted, and then poured that into the bottom of our pastry there. So you can see that there, and let that set up. And then the next layer is my layer, and that is the soy cream cheese here that we sweetened. We'll put that there. And actually you could, after you put this layer on, you could put that, you've done great there. Very good. All right, Chris, thank you. You mixed that very good. Okay, you could refrigerate this just a little bit too for this layer. This is our second layer. And now we're going to add your layer. So you're going to put the chocolate layer on top.
Okay.
Okay.
So just spoon it out here?
Yep,
Or, okay.
I'll do that for you.
Okay, that's it. You're the expert here. I can mix easily, but layering something, I don't know.
I'm going to let you take that spatula there, though, and you can smooth it out. Look how nice that is. You did really good there. Yeah, just spread that out a little bit. Let that refrigerate, and oh my, this makes a wonderful dessert. And then you can top it with more of the whipped cream or the whipped topping. I put a little bit of shaved chocolate on it. And there, Chris, you've got to taste it there. It's right there in front of you. Yep, we'll just lay that right there. You can try the pie there. Refrigerate it for just a little bit.
Here's the pie. I'm going to move it.
Yeah.
Oh, nope, they moved on me. There we are.
Perfect.
They're ahead of me, and I'm always behind by one step. Okay, so let's take a look.
So we have 3 layers there, really 4 if you count the crust that's in it. And again, we'll mention it's Bake for Family Fun Month. And so, gosh, a great opportunity to get kids in the kitchen. This would be a great recipe that they could help with. But gosh, it's so great to teach them measuring skills, reading a recipe, doing things in the right order. That's just great for kids.
And then all that hard work pays off. They get a tasty treat for doing all that work and learning along the way. And then they get a little reward at the end that they made themselves.
That's right. That's right. How was it?
Very good. Very, very sweet, very tasty. I just absolutely a perfect blend of the different flavors in there as well. So that's amazing. And if folks at home want this amazing recipe, where do they need to go?
Go to kansassoybeans.org, where we have all of our recipes. The ones for February are featured on the main page, or you can call our 800 number, 877-KS-Soybean.
And of course, you can find all this on our website as well. It's KOAMnewsnow.com. Charlene, thanks again so much for joining us again this month. All these amazing recipes. Can't wait to see what the warmer months are going to start to bring in. And we can't wait to share with you what's coming up next right after this.
And someone's getting major money.
Today at 4, right here on Fox 14.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:42 now on this Tuesday morning. As a live look from our camera downtown Joplin. Looking great. We've got clouds, we've got sunshine, so mostly cloudy. There's more clouds, but there still is sunshine out there this morning. MoDOT camera, 32nd in range line. There's some clouds, there's some sun, and that's a lot of cars as folks get their Tuesday underway. And again, celebrating the fact the KDOT cameras are back up and going for us here. And that sign, I know I've said it all morning, but you don't always think about the simplest thing. Don't throw out your cigarettes. The dry grass, the high winds, something that small can spark a very significant fire. It has happened before. It could happen again. No outdoor burning today, no grilling, nothing outside that involves sparks or flame. The fire danger is very high. Red flag warnings across the entire area. Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties and into Missouri until 9. Everyone else until 8 tonight. And then wind advisories. Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties and into Missouri until 9 tonight. Everybody else until 3 a.m. tomorrow. We could see wind gusts as high as 50 miles an hour. And it's not just going to be out of one direction. When that front passes through, the winds are still going to be very gusty back behind it, and they could still be pushing 30, 40 miles an hour. So most of today, we're going to be dealing with a southwesterly wind out there. Here's that front at 5 o'clock. So some of you may suddenly notice a brief lull in the winds, and that's just that front passing through. But back behind it, the wind's now out of the north, still upwards of 30, potentially 40 miles an hour. Here we are Wednesday at 5. It won't be until Wednesday early afternoon that the winds will eventually begin to calm down out there for us. But because it's going to be so breezy when the temperatures drop, we're talking wind chills that could be upper teens, 20s, and 30s as we begin our Wednesday. Yeah, I know that's hard to believe because look at these numbers. Our temperatures are going to drop 50 degrees with this front tonight. So by the time the front gets here, a few scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder or two, and these are going to be isolated to widely scattered at best. We're not anticipating any severe weather out of that. And then as the front passes and the temperatures fall, yeah, that's snow showing up on here. Some light snow showers, maybe even a rain-snow mix for some of us will be possible, but we're not anticipating any real accumulations out of that overnight tonight. And by the time we wake up tomorrow, 50 degrees colder than what we're going to be this afternoon. Upper 20s, low 30s out there. Quick check of temperatures. There's those mostly cloudy skies in Joplin. 67, south-southwest breeze at 17. Around the area, again, a little cooler still in Iola at 49. Everyone else into the 50s and 60s across the area as we get this Tuesday underway. We're going to make about 72 by 11, partly to mostly cloudy skies, breezy out there. By the way, sustained winds alone are going to be 20 to 30 miles an hour, so it's going to be blowing hard all day. We go into the afternoon, upper 70s, a lot of low 80s out there for our highs. Heading into tonight, again, some isolated showers, maybe some isolated snow showers. Now, again, this is an approximate time. For some of you, this front will arrive a little earlier, so you're going to see the 40s a little earlier. But we're all going to see temperatures fall in this fashion through the evening, and we all will eventually make it back down into the upper 20s and low 30s. Well below average tomorrow to the tune of about 10, 12 degrees in the low 40s out there. Normal on Thursday, low 50s, and we go back near 80 by Sunday. And another system with some showers and storms Sunday into Monday brings our temperatures down again, but not as significantly as this system does, as we only fall back into the upper 50s and 60s with a few more shower chances as we head into next Wednesday and Thursday. Now, turning gears over to Consumer Watch this morning. The Federal Trade Commission files suit to block the merger of Kroger and Albertsons, saying it will lead to higher prices for millions of Americans. The suit was filed Monday in the U.S. District Court in Oregon. Kroger and Albertsons are two of the nation's largest grocers. They agreed to merge in 2022, saying it would help them better compete with Walmart, Amazon, Costco, and others. J.P. Morgan Chase analysts say the merger would give the combined company control of about 13% of the U.S. grocery market, while Walmart controls 22% of the market. Kroger and Albertsons say they will challenge the suit in court. Some Americans are already seeing higher tax returns this year. The Internal Revenue Service reports the average return as of February 16th is about $3,207. This year's refund is about 2.1% higher compared to the same time last year. IRS says it has issued about 20 million returns so far. The increase in returns are likely attributed to changes from the IRS to address inflation. As a look at Consumer Watch, we're going to take a quick look at the market prices before the opening bell.
It's a beautiful morning, Scotty, and we have an early game.
Program could work for you. Or visit us at joplinhabitat.org.
For all the yogis out there, you've heard of Cobra, Warrior, and Happy Baby. But this yoga class is taking on a new meaning to downward facing dog. That's because some of the participants have 4 legs. As Fox's Regina Gonzalez tells us, the adorable yoga time is all for a good cause.
It's a yoga class that gives a whole new meaning to the downward dog position. About a dozen puppies brought in by Suncoast Animal League got their big stretches and snuggles in at Standard Procedures Rescue Dog Yoga class Sunday morning.
All of the money goes right back to Suncoast. It's $30 a ticket. They sell out within 2 hours. So we raised $5,500 last year.
As puppies weave their way through rows of yoga mats, stopping for the occasional pet or lick, they're not only trying to spread cuteness on a Sunday morning, these fur babies are in search of potential foster parents or even forever homes.
This helps us by, getting the exposure for Suncoast Animal League, getting the word out about rescue, bringing in potential fosters or volunteers that can help, helping to socialize the puppies so that they can move on to their forever home.
Suncoast Animal League is a nonprofit, no-kill, no-time limit animal shelter. But with a small space, most of their rescues are foster-based.
We try and help shelters locally and outside of our area that are overcrowded so that they can bring in more animals, we can bring in more animals, and if we have access to partnerships like this one, where we can get the puppies out in the public, get exposure, and get them adopted, then we can save more, we can help more shelters.
Since the class started 1.5 years ago, several participants have adopted, signed up to foster, or now actively volunteer with Suncoast.
I feel like it's not just about getting the animals adopted, it's kind of bringing them into the rescue fold, into the rescue world, and getting them inspired to help out in the community.
Even if I'm not here to bring a dog home, it's, putting it out there, putting it on social media for everyone to see, inviting more people to come.
Reporting in St. Pete, Regina Gonzalez, Fox 13 News.
Well, with today's weather, it'll be an excellent opportunity to maybe do some yoga outdoors. Let's take a quick look. Red flag mornings. Want to remind folks, all of the area involved. Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee counties and Southwest Missouri until 9. Everyone else until 8. And we have wind advisories across the entire area as well. Again, Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee and into Missouri until 9. Everyone else until 3 o'clock tomorrow morning, because we could see those winds gusting upwards of, let's say, 40 to 50 miles an hour. Quick check of those wind gusts. They're going to be out of the southwest for the majority of our day. That front rolls through about 5 o'clock this evening on the backside. Still gusty, but those winds shifting out of the north. That'll lead to some chilly wind chills out there. On top of that, we could see a stray shower or two, maybe even a rumble of thunder out there, but we're not anticipating any severe weather. And as temperatures fall late tonight, we could see a brief transition to a rain-snow mix or a few light snow showers, but again, no significant accumulations out there. We'll have another look at your forecast. News you need to know right after this.
Hi, it's Christy with Miss Daisy.
Honor and valor during his service to our country. We are proud to salute Ronald Parsons, a four-state hero.
Here's a check of today's top headlines. News you need to know before you head out the door. Nevada firefighters responded to a fire Monday afternoon. This one located north of the Vernon County Square in the 200 block of East Locust. Firefighters were able to contain the fast-moving blaze. The investigation is ongoing for what started the fire, and the Red Cross has stepped in to assist the residents displaced by the fire. Salvation Army of Ottawa County Service Center moving to a new space that fits all of its services. Moving from Steve Owens Boulevard to 1915 North Main Street in Miami. It's going to provide free clothing, access to the food pantry, and social services to people in need. Salvation Army of Ottawa County Service Center is currently open on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 until noon. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly signing a proclamation designating March 4th through the 8th as Severe Weather Preparedness Week in Kansas. Being prepared includes being aware of weather conditions and having a family emergency kit and emergency plan. As part of the week's activities, Kansans are urged to take part in the statewide tornado safety drill. That's Wednesday, March the 6th at 11 a.m. Thankfully, no severe weather for us in our forecast for now. But of course, we're getting ready to enter springtime. It feels like almost summer out there. Upper 70s, low 80s for highs. Red flag warnings, wind advisories, the entire area. And those will run through tonight and into early tomorrow morning. Winds out of the southwest gusting upwards of 40 to 50. They'll shift out of the north tonight behind a cold front as it rolls through. So again, some of you are going to see the temperatures fall a little earlier, but we're going to drop back through the 40s. And then overnight could see some rain, maybe some snow mix, no major accumulations. And again, no severe weather, but 50 degrees colder as we fall back into the upper 20s and low 30s tonight. Well below average tomorrow, upper 40s, average on Thursday, low 50s. Back near 80 by Saturday and Sunday. More storms Sunday into Monday, and that does bring our temperatures down again, but not as significantly as we fall back into the upper 50s and low 60s. Well, Eggo is taking National Pancake Day to the next level with its new House of Pancakes. The company announced on Monday that its new House of Pancakes will be available to rent. The house has a chimney that resembles a stick of butter, and the interior is decked out in breakfast-themed decor. House is located in the pancake capital of the South, Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Those interested in booking a stay can do so on hometogo.com starting tomorrow. Sounds like an excellent place to stay. I'm going to have to go check in, see if they actually have some pancakes in there. We want to thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. Right back with more news and weather today at noon. Have a great rest of your day.